Dub Nation, we may have just gotten the worst news of the Golden State Warriors season as Jimmy Butler had to leave Monday night's game against the Miami Heat with a scary knee injury. And we don't know exactly the severity just yet, but we're going to break it all down on today's edition of Warriors Today by Chat Sports. I am your host, Tyler Smith. And before we dive into what happened to Jimmy Butler, I got to let you guys know, we make Warriors videos all the time here when Warriors news goes down. So go down below and hit that subscribe button for free Warriors content all the time, and turn your notifications on as well. So when big news happens like this, you know exactly when we post content here on the channel. All right, so let's talk about it, man. Jimmy Butler had a pass thrown up to him by Brandon Pajemski. He went up to grab it and then came down awkwardly, and his knee didn't really go in the right direction. Kind of got buckled up there, and I know it may be gruesome for some. I should have gave you guys a little bit of a trigger warning there, but we're going to zoom in on it now, and this does not look good at all for Jimmy Butler here, who has a history of knee injuries. We did hear from Anthony Slater after the conclusion of the Warriors' win over the Miami Heat here, 4 in a row, by the way, that Jimmy Butler is going to get an MRI on that right knee. Yeah, they won 4 in a row, but this could derail the rest of the Golden State Warriors season if it is actually what many people fear is a torn ACL. We don't know just yet. I'm not saying that's concrete, but we'll get into more of what some medical professionals had to say on social media in the aftermath in just a moment. Steph saying, praying for the best as far as scans go there for Jimmy Butler. And I would be holding my breath if I was a Golden State Warriors fan, because Jimmy Butler has had extensive knee injuries in the past. In 2018, had a right meniscus tear that kept him out for an extended period. Then back in 2024, he had a right MCL sprain that really, derailed most of his season a year ago. So not good news at all here for a guy who's 36 years old, has 2 major injuries to the same knee that he just went down with against the Miami Heat. That's really the key here. This is a knee that he's had injured in the past before. Getting hurt like this could really derail him. And he's been playing so well, man, which is just super, super unfortunate. We're going to get into some more stuff here for some medical professionals in terms of what their thoughts are on this whole Butler thing. Shout out to Dr. Narav, who constantly updates us on Warriors injuries. Here's what he had to say on the situation. He said, on Jimmy Butler, the medical staff and team will likely go through the usual battery of tests, including a physical exam, x-rays, and MRI. We have seen some bad knee injuries on video simply be bone bruises from hyperextension, which is a couple-week injury, to being very simple-looking injuries, becoming a torn ACL, which would keep you out 9 months to a year and effectively end Jimmy Butler's season. So, the best that we can hope for here is something along the lines of, the Nikola Jokic injury that kept him out about a month. That would be awesome, or that's going to keep him out about a month as he still remains out there. But it could also be as bad as him being out for the season and the Warriors' playoff chances just completely dwindling. The prediction markets are all over that. Now, more from Dr. Narav here. This is an extensive one, so if you want to pause and read yourself, I'll read it out to you here, though. He dropped a quick thread on it. So he's saying, whenever an athlete has an awkward landing and can't bear weight, it can be concerning. In general, here are the steps that the medical staff and team usually take. The best physical exam occurs immediately after the injury, when you can assess if there's any instability. This gets harder as you get further out from the injury as pain and swelling sets in. X-rays are taken immediately to make sure there's no fractures or dislocations, and there were no immediate news on an X-ray or after the game, so I don't anticipate there being any fractures here. This is going to be a ligament or cartilage stuff that we're dealing with in the knee. MRIs then obtained to look to see if there are any ligament, cartilage, or meniscus damage, which Jimmy Butler we know is injured before, as well as assess the degree of the injury. And occasionally, a CT scan can be obtained as well if there's concern for a fracture that can't be seen clearly on an X-ray or MRI. We don't think we have to worry about that too much. Some athletes have horrible-looking injuries on video and simply end up with a bone bruise or hyperextension injuries, whereas others look very minor and they end up with an ACL tear. Well, Jimmy Butler was on the ground and he was wincing in pain for a good bit of time, had to literally have his teammates help him off of the floor. So this isn't a guy who isn't tough by any means. Steph said you never like to see something like that, especially with a guy who's as tough as he is. You always see him get back up. He even asked the official, is it going to be 2 shots after he went down and got fouled on the play? So this is really bad for Warriors fans here who have seen this team improve so much with the addition of Jimmy Butler. He's a constant leader on this team. He has been top of the league in a lot of advanced analytics like top 15 in player efficiency rating, win shares, box plus minus, like all the stats that you see where players, at advanced stats at least, that contribute to winning. And Jimmy Butler has been all over those, man. more from another doctor here on Butler, because this one, honestly, guys, I want to share it, but it's not too enthusiastic sounding. Jimmy Butler, first thought was ACL. Shout out to Brian Stutter, MD here. Didn't see the clear tibia shift pop back, which is hopeful, but that position his knee buckled into is worrisome. And then said, somebody replied and said, what are even the other possible injuries? Meniscus or lower grade ACL sprain. So all this to say that Jimmy Butler won't be suiting up for the Warriors really anytime soon. Jimmy Butler is going to be out an extended period of time from what it looks like here, and that's just not good at all. He's going to miss an extended period for Golden State. Could it be a month? Could it be the entire season? I don't know, but I'm just jonesing here thinking about how this could affect the team long term. Steph, I'm missing Jimmy Butler. We'll do it by committee. Yeah, you're going to have to. And there's a lot of other questions that are raised by this Jimmy Butler injury here. What does this mean for Golden State's trade plans, with Jonathan Kuminga being on the trade block, demanding a trade away from the Golden State Warriors? We just heard Steve Kerr say in the postgame that they could absolutely go to Jonathan Kuminga and put him back in the lineup now with this Butler injury. We'll see how Kuminga reacts to that. How does this affect their trade plans? If this is a long-term injury, they're going to try to make a swing for a trade. We've heard Steve Kerr say that the Warriors cannot compete with the top dogs in the Western Conference, which has just made me so annoyed. But if an injury like this derails the season, then don't expect a big swing trade by Joe Lacob and this front office. Man, show some love to Jimmy Butler. Go down below, comment his jersey number 10 in the comment section, because this is a huge loss for this Golden State Warriors team. I don't anticipate him being back anytime soon here, as the Golden State Warriors are on their hottest stretch of the season, 6-1 in the homestand, 4 wins in a row. We'll next up talk about who needs to step up without Jimmy Butler in the lineup. In his absence, who has to step up? Because Steph said it's going to have to be by committee. Doesn't look like a trade's coming anytime soon for Golden State. We'll talk about that as the days go on. But first, I got to tell you guys about our sponsor on the show, and that's Rocket Money. Dub Nation, I've made it a goal in the new year to be better with my spending. I just spend on nonsense way too often, and I'm decided to take charge with it this year. So I downloaded Rocket Money, the best personal finance app in the game. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money tracks subscriptions and has the ability to cancel within the app with just a few taps, saving time and avoiding charges. Guys, I was subscribed to a streaming service that I had no idea that I had one subscription to, let alone 2, and Rocket Money went and canceled it and saved me a bunch of money for this year. It also consolidates checking accounts, savings accounts, loans, and investments into a single dashboard to give users a clear view of your financial picture. So if you're saving up for something like school or like a vacation, Rocket Money will help you navigate everything that you need there. So download the app today. Let Rocket Money help you reach your financial goals faster. Join at rocketmoney.com/warriorschat. That's rocketmoney.com/warriorschat. rocketmoney.com/warriorschat. All those links are in the chat right now. What sucks as well is that Jimmy Butler was having a really solid game, man, against Miami, where Golden State wins 135 to 112. TJD actually hit a half-court buzzer beater as the clock expired there in the fourth quarter with all the reserves in. Shout out to TJD for that. Awesome stuff. The bench players for Golden State were just toying with the Miami bench. They were cooking tonight. Man, Jimmy Butler was having a good game in this one. He was getting the free throw line. He was aggressive around the rim. He was taking advantage of mismatches when he saw him. Sucks that he'll be out. Obviously, we know Steph's got to shoulder a lot more weight now. More for Wardell to overcome. Unbelievable. This guy has more thrown at him year in and year out, and the Warriors have done not enough to surround him with talent with stuff like this. Jimmy Butler injury goes down. Already out with injury. Draymond Green dealing with an ankle thing here. D'Anthony Melton has to sit out on one of the 2 nights of the back-to-backs. Al Horford has to sit out on the other night of back-to-backs. So Golden State, for as deep as they are, I mean, things are quickly dwindling here. Guys have to step up. Curry, no stranger to that. Will Richard, I'm going to say a guy has to step up here as well, because he was a guy who got the starting nod from Steve Kerr in the absence of Draymond Green, in the absence of D'Anthony Melton, and with the absence of Jimmy Butler, with his defensive instincts and his just want to win. Guy Santos is missing too. He's got an ankle injury going on. Will Richard is going to be called upon here, the rookie that Golden State drafted back in June. And look, he's an awesome player, man. He had 7 assists in this game, which I didn't even realize. That's insane. Had a bunch of steals as well. Created a couple offensive rebound opportunities, not just the one that you see in the box score. So this is a guy who generates extra possessions for Golden State, and that's going to be paramount in here, because offense is going to be tough to come by with Jimmy Butler, with Jimmy Butler out, who's been an absolute engine for this team, especially with these reserve-led lineups. So like Jimmy Butler on the floor with the Will Richard, with a Chase Jackson Davis or something like that, and a Pods and a Guy Santos and a D'Anthony Melton. Like Jimmy Butler is running with these bench lineups and keeping Golden State afloat for big stretches during games. I think that's really going to be lost here with his absence. Pod's going to have to keep doing stuff like this. Pod's been on an absolute tear over the last 6-7 games. He's been awesome. 24 in this one against Miami, 6 rebounds in there as well. He was taunting. This is what I was really talking about with the Golden State players taunting that Miami Heat bench. Pods was just giving it to him all night long. That was awesome to see there in that second half. Are we going to see more minutes for Pat Spencer here? As Jimmy Butler is a ball handler, we're going to have to see more of Pat Spencer. I'm assuming, everybody's going to have to step up in this situation. D'Anthony Melton, he's been balling. He's going to need to ball some more. It really stinks losing Butler here. We're going to need to see more nights like this from Buddy Hield, not just flash in the pan once in a while performances like this. We're going to have to see him not be an unplayable basketball player. And I know he was awesome in this game against Miami, but this is a dime a dozen with Buddy Hield. He's going to have to play a little bit better. Jonathan Kuminga could be back in this lineup, man. I can't believe I'm saying it. I swore he played his last game in a Warrior uniform. But, man, with his Butler injury, Steve Kerr saying they could absolutely go to him. I don't know if I buy his word on that, but it's possible. And if he gets out there, he's going to have to step up. No doubt about it. I mean, the Warriors are really lacking on the wings here, man. Guy Santos out with injury. I mean, Draymond Green, 6'7". I'm not going to say he's sitting there and act like he's a wing, but he is out with injury right now. This is going to be hard to come by in terms of just some size on the wing for Golden State. Moses Moody is going to have to step up big time in this scenario. He'll be playing even more minutes than he's already playing there in the starting lineup. Shout out to him. Good game against Miami here as well. GP2 is going to play some more. You're going to see more GP2 with Jimmy Butler out. This is insane. Look, I'll ask you guys this question before we sign off here. Who needs to step up for the Golden State Warriors? Let me know in the comment section right now. Who needs to step up in the absence of Jimmy Butler? This could be an extended time injury. I imagine it's going to be multiple games. I'm saying maybe multiple weeks at minimum. And then we're talking about potentially a torn ACL for Jimmy Butler if things are worst case scenario. That will do it for today's show. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, youtube.com/WarriorsTV. When we hear the official confirmation on the severity of this Jimmy Butler injury, we will keep you guys in the loop and have some content for you on the channel. So subscribe, turn your notifications on so you know that info when we hear it. And as always, let's go Dubs.